This used to be Christmas in February, but it's no longer. It is National Sign Day. We'll talk all about it because it is the Warchant.com recruiting call-in show with Michael Langston of Warchant.com fame. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's in the lower right corner of your screen. We certainly would appreciate it. And Michael, working all these long, hard hours alongside our own Austin Cox, what would make your day better if somebody could just maybe click a button on this screen right now? What can they do, Michael?
Oh, you can hit the like button for us. Helps us promote all these great things we do for you guys, and certainly, a lot of team stuff coming up. We hitting spring practice, so you want to definitely see all the different evaluations and observations. And in recruiting, we're going to get started again. In a few months or a month, and get cranking again for 2023. So you want to be a part of that. So yeah, hit the like button for us.
We would appreciate it. It says on your screen right there. It's the lower right corner of the screen. I think you can hit it up. All right, Michael, let's get to it, man. Let's look at the signees for today on our screen right now. Very busy, active day for the Noles on National Signing Day. So what happened today? I mean, we knew going into the day, you told everybody on the PRB, the Premium Recruiting Board of Warchant.com, that wasn't going to be much of anything going on this day. I mean, they're currently, I don't know, they're probably not 20th anymore now. But Flores had done most of their damage in terms of recruiting with high school players in that early signing window in December. So where do we sit today, Michael?
Yeah, the good news is you got all your guys in early, and they were done. And really, the only one we were waiting on is to see if Antavius Woody would sign something. Obviously, it was a big show, and a lot of people had questions. For those that missed it, he reaffirmed that, hey, I'm going to FSU. I'm going to sign with FSU. I think the whole thing with that is just they're waiting on academics to make sure everything checks off, and then once they do that, he'll sign or enroll at FSU. And assuming everything is kosher, then he'll be another addition in this class. But that's kind of the only thing that was really going on today. And uh, this was expected, as I've told people for a month or so. They're mainly focused on portal kids. Probably going to add 3 or 4 guys, but this class has already been pretty much done for a little bit.
All right, well, they were still 20th. Look at that. Have they upped it? I guess everybody else must be having a slow day too. Then, if we're still sitting at 20th.
I mean, yeah, it's still it's a strong class too, so there wasn't going to drop too much. I think they were 18th before the day started, so I think I think it's a solid class. And I think it's weird though, Aslan, because I'm waking up and I usually wake up like at 7, and I'm so used to hitting the phones and using it. It was a weird day and this is going to be rare because usually you're going to have 2 or 3 leftover guys that you're waiting on that are going to announce, and didn't have to follow that today. It was really simple. Obviously, it's going to be rare because I think in the future there's going to be 2 or 3 guys, maybe 4. But this was just one of those. It was a weird day because I'm so used to hitting the phones and getting in touch with people. But at the same time, it's also it's close to a finish of what this class is going to be. Like I said, a few more portal guys, and you got this thing wrapped up. Assuming Woody qualifies and everything, then that's another addition. So we're close to the finish line.
I did see, I think some outlets had said that, Antavius Woody signs with Florida State. To my understanding, I mean, you can clarify it obviously, but it just seemed like he wanted to have a ceremony. Everybody
Right.
wants a special day. Everybody wants their birthday
Right.
candles and everything. So it sounds like he kind of had as I disappear off the camera screen here, which I'll get back up on here. But it sounded like he kind of had a commitment ceremony. I mean, he didn't necessarily sign, he just kind of reaffirmed that like he's going to, at some point, we hope, once everything gets in order, come to Florida State, but he is not signed. So he's officially on his way.
Yeah, it was mainly for show. It's a ceremony. It's a celebration time for everything he's gone through as far as being a player. But it was really just for a show, a ceremony. But as we told people, and I told people last night and even this morning, FSU wasn't anticipating for a letter of intent to be sent or signed. So it's going to happen. I think eventually. I think things are trending in a more positive direction. I still think it's around 50-50, but it's up higher to what it was. I think they're cautiously optimistic that he will make it, but there's no letter of intent being signed today. That was mainly just for show. But obviously, it's always good a guy that's been committed to your class reaffirms and all that stuff that his intention is to be a Seminole. So I think eventually he probably will, assuming he takes care of everything he needs to take care of. But yeah, just mainly just a ceremony.
Should we take his phone call? We'll take his message on YouTube here first. But Gator Kirk said FSU got a PWO kicker. What about, there's also a quarterback that I remember they were really high on when they had their super camp out of Southwest Florida, I think out of Naples.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's also coming in as a PWO, preferred
Yeah.
walk-on.
Yeah, Mac O'Mara, I forget his first name, out there in Southwest Florida. I forget the name of the school, but
Bearing Collier.
yeah,
He went to Collier.
Aaron Collier. Really good guy that they were pretty high on that they evaluate. And these PWOs are important. Obviously Norvell understands that because he was a walk on himself. So they take a lot of seriousness to these type of walk ons. And then the kicker they got was a guy that actually had scholarship offers from pretty strong talented schools and he decided on FSU. He visited actually FSU last weekend, got a chance to talk with him and the concern was, hey, is he's going to pick somebody else because he has all these different type of offers and some of them were PWO, some of them were regular offers, but the fact that FSU was able to close that deal and add another kicker to their range, I think it's always an important deal. Mainly going to be punting and kickoffs. I think that's kind of what he does the best. He's told me the best thing he does is a punter. That's what his strongest area is. So competition's never a bad thing.
Mac Chiamento looks like. So he's got some crazy hair though. Look at that. Good lettuce.
6'5", 6'4" too. Pretty tall kicker too.
What high school did he go to? They're the something crabs. Are they the stone crab? Look at that. I'll have to do some research on that. But yeah,
maybe Seabreeze. Maybe Seabreeze High School in Daytona Beach. That's the Sam Crabs.
Oh, really? I never knew this. Wait, my guy Jano. Jano was a sand crab?
Yep.
Look at that. Look at that. I learn something new every day. I should know the history.
I think that's where he went to high school. I think.
Yeah, no, I'm like 99% sure on that one. All right, let's get to it. It is a call-in show after all. Let's get to the phone lines here. The number at the bottom of your screen, if I could take away our guy Gator Kirk's comment here, you can be able to see it. 850-805-5911. Don't call if you're listening to us on the replay podcast. That would be weird. I think this is, it's Wes. Look at this. Is like 2 shows we've done now. And Gator Kirk has been beaten to the punch. I don't know what that means for Florida State in 2022, but we'll roll with it. Sounds like he's in his vehicle. Wes, welcome to the Terror Dome.
Hey, fellas. Yeah, good evening. I'm working late tonight, so I'll keep it quick. Hey, Michael, how you doing, buddy?
I'm great, man. I'm great.
Okay, so that's good news about Woody as far as where we stand in intending to enroll. My question is, if he does enroll, there's been talk about him being on either side of the O-line or D-line. Where do you ultimately think he'll end up based on who else we got in the class, and how do you kind of see that shaking out if he does end up enrolling?
I think for the plans right now are offensive tackle. It's what he's always mentioned to us. That's kind of what my FSU contacts had told me. That's where they plan on starting him. That's where they really like him. What could I see a defensive move where he plays on the defensive line? Absolutely. He's the defensive MVP at the Rivals camp that we did, I think earlier this year. So I think he could play on either side. I think Atkins likes him most at offensive tackle. That's kind of the position we've heard the most, and that's kind of where I think he'll start. But will he finish there? I don't know. I mean, I think he could certainly be moved to the defensive side, but I think as of now going into it, it's going to be offensive tackle.
Cool. And then you feel like with the last 3 or 4 transfer spots, you're figuring QB, offensive tackle, maybe a D lineman, maybe running back. Is it kind of that the feel still?
Yeah, I think they're probably done at running back unless there's like an elite guy that just jumps out at them that they feel like they have to have. But I think it would probably be, offensive tackle would be number 1 for me from what I hear, and then maybe a defensive lineman or a linebacker, and then after that a quarterback. That would be kind of I guess the rotation I would use as far as most important that they're probably going to address. But I think all those positions, I think it's very likely they add one for each one of those positions, and it might be up to 4. There might be a best available that they take. That's, hey, this guy's so good that we got to have him, regardless of position. So that's kind of what I'm watching for in the portal as we finish up this 2022 class.
Very good. One last question. Any update on Destin Hill? No, I'm just I'm kidding. I make you laugh. No, I know better. Hey, anyway, I'll let you go. You guys, thanks, Michael and Aslan. Keep up the good work, buddy. Everybody, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel, as well as Warchant.com. Support DeLuna, support Zaxby's. Y'all have a good evening. Go Noles.
That is right, man. Listen, he's like the mailman. No matter what happens, rain, sleet, snow, what happens on the road working, man. Wes calls in. We appreciate it, man. Thank you for the phone call, Wes. What do you think in terms of urgency, though, Michael? Obviously, they've got spots for portal prospects. Is it one of those things where we're probably going to have to wait until after spring football to see some either names kind of come across our lives to figure out guys they're targeting and might bring in here? Or is it something that can maybe happen before spring football were to start across?
I think we could see some activity in March. I think March is when I think you could see some of these dominoes fall for FSU. I don't think it's going to be like right now because there's really no rush. We're in a dead period now for this whole month, so for the month of February. So I don't think you're going to see much there, but I think you're going to see a lot of guys enter. But I don't think really it's going to get activity. And I think March and April is going to be pretty active. I think I would not be surprised if this thing's wrapped up by April.
All right. I like that. Noel Princess asks, I want to know about the possible preferred walk-on of Luke Bennett, brother of Georgia quarterback, national champion Stetson Bennett. According to a story I read online, he was highly impressed with Florida State more than anyone else as of a few days ago.
I thought I saw that he was going to Georgia, but as a preferred walk-on, but I don't know. I'd have to research that. Yes, Luke definitely did visit. He likes FSU a lot. That was the school that was high, but my impressions were that I thought he was going to follow Stetson over there to Georgia, but I have not heard, I guess, where his final destination was. I guess we could always look it up right now on his Twitter, find his Twitter account, but I have not heard anything besides that right now.
Apparently, he's been offered the same thing, a PWO at Georgia here yesterday. Looks like he got I'm guessing. I never even heard Buster Faulkner, but shout out to Buster Faulkner in Georgia for doing that. And then a few days ago, apparently, he also tweeted out, well, look at that. Go New Hampshire, young man. Live free or die, man. Live free or die. Live free. Have them pay your bills. That would be certainly cool. So, yeah, apparently here he is at Florida State doing the whole thing.
Yep.
Sleeve and all. Nice. Sharp.
Yeah, so apparently he hasn't made a decision yet, but I'll check on that actually tonight. I have not heard any decision-wise if he's made a decision yet, but I will check on that.
Okay. Let's check back on the phone lines. We got 3 folks waiting in the queue. If he's not number 1, he's obviously going to be number 2. Relentlessness, it's his middle name. It's Gator Kirk joining us here on the Warchant.com college show with Michael Langston. Gator Kirk, good evening to you, man.
Good evening, gentlemen. How you guys doing?
We're doing great.
COVID there, Michael.
Yep, we're doing great. I do have COVID, but I'm doing fantastic. For those that are wondering, I'm not. It's pretty much gone. It's basically a head cold, so I'm good. I'm feeling a lot better than I did probably on last Tuesday. It was pretty a lot of achiness and stuff like that. But fortunately, Austin Cox helped out a lot as far as the coverage over the weekend. He killed it. He gave a lot of did all the interviews because I didn't want to make anybody sick, so I didn't go out there too much. I just went out there to take some photos, but I'm doing fantastic. I know people think I'm just saying that, but I'm actually feeling good. It's just mainly just a head cold, and I'm doing great. And but Kirk, what's on your mind, man?
All right, it's how long do we have to honor that scholarship for Destin Hill? Can't we make better use of that? Because I don't see the young man coming to FSU.
I've said this is kind of my take on it, Kirk. It's like if it doesn't happen in the summer, that's what FSU's telling me, then I could see them probably moving on and then cutting ties with the scholarship. But that's kind of how I see it unraveling. If it doesn't happen this summer, you're talking about 2 calendar years of recruiting. So I can't see FSU keeping that charade going any longer. I think they're probably going to move on. But the expectation is that he will be here. I've heard through different sources that they feel confident that he's going to be here. Even players think he's going to be here. We'll see. That's kind of my take. I'll see it when I believe it. He's kind of like the white elephant. You're kind of waiting to show up at your front door. But that's kind of the feedback I get. But yeah, I think after this summer, if it doesn't happen, then I think it's just going to be a wash and they'll move on.
Yeah, I hear he's going to show up on a unicorn. So that's
you go.
We'll
there
see.
you go.
But anyway, I appreciate you all taking the call. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Join Warchant. Support all the things that Warchant supports because they support you. Go Noles. You all have a great evening. Make sure you buy your bamboo. It's still growing.
There you go.
Gator Kirk, Virginia Beach, Virginia, a.k.a. Mr. 757, a.k.a. Mr. Coastal, joining us. We appreciate it. Gator Kirk, everybody. Good dude. Good dude. Let's keep it rolling. Let's go from the Tidewater, I think is what they call it out there in Virginia Beach. Let's go to the Rocky Mountains. I should have known this. I think I left a note in here for myself so I could identify who this is. I think this is like a Colorado number, but they live in Tampa. I don't even know. Who is this and where are you calling us from?
Aloha. How's it?
Ralph.
I did not know. It's Ralph. Figure it out, Aslan. It's Ralph. What's up, Ralph?
Ralph, you didn't answer my text message.
What's going on, guys?
Ralph, I sent you a text message. Aslan gave me your number, and I sent you a text, but I didn't hear anything back. Did he give me the wrong number?
I don't know. I haven't gotten any text. Feel free to shoot it again, or my email is my Warchant handle at gmail.com. So you can try it that way also if you like.
Email me tonight, Ralph, at michael@warchant.com, and we'll get this straight.
I sure will. I appreciate it. I lost the connection right when the show kicked off. So if you guys have already covered this, I apologize. But I'm still kind of confused on how many slots we still have. There was the 25 per year, then the 7. How many more slots do we have, Michael? And where do you and where's the FSU insiders that you deal with really think that we need to tighten up and hammer home to close out this class, please?
I don't know. I'm not going to say exactly how many they have. I would say it's only going to be 3 or 4 more guys at that, Ralph. That's kind of the way I'll address it. There's 3 or 4 guys that they'll probably add. I would lean towards 3. I think the positions that I'm most focused on is probably number 1 would be offensive tackle. I think that's the number 1 guy they want to get, offensive tackle. They want to knock that out. And then the next one would be either a defensive end or linebacker. We've seen before there's guys in the portal that can kind of play defensive end and / linebacker. I think that would be a perfect situation for FSU. And then the last one for me would be quarterback. You need a veteran quarterback back there to kind of compete with guys like AJ and Tate and Jordan. So I think that's kind of in order. That's kind of how I do it. And then if there is 4, I think you could see a best available where there might be a guy that's in there that has such strong connections with FSU and they might feel like, regardless of position, we got to have this. It doesn't matter what position they play. I could see FSU, making a push for a 4th, but that's kind of how the scholarship breakdown is. I don't know the total numbers per se, but that's kind of what I was told as far as the numbers go.
Okay, well, obviously you're on it. You're killing it for us. You're keeping us informed with just valuable and great, precise information. So I really appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody out there in the Ohana. And hopefully, if you and the family are still coming out later this month, I can't wait to see you guys. If that's still a possibility.
It is. We're probably gonna move it to April because what I hear from Diane's parents, my wife, they close a lot of stuff down over there in Honolulu, so we kind of pushed it back to April. So we figure out by that time things will be worked out. Probably be after the spring game, and then we'll be over there.
Yeah, I was going to try to come home for the spring game, but now with my injury and recovery, I won't be able to make it. So by then I'll be walking again. So that's probably a better time just for my mobility as well. And you're right. When I came home last kickoff, it was a culture shock coming back to Hawaii, man. This place is in massive lockdown. Boosters are mandatory for everything. mask and mask and mask. It's absolutely opposite of what you guys are enjoying in Florida. So please, for us who can't get away from the stupidity, all of y'all, please enjoy the freedoms y'all have, because we damn sure don't have them out here.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Get better,
Okay.
Ralph.
I don't want to take up any more. Thank you guys. I don't want to take up any more time. You got other folks to entertain. We love you guys. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Ralph.
Everybody.
Email me, Ralph.
Yeah. I'll get you his name.
Okay, I sure will, Mike. Thank you.
I'll get you his handle or whatever as well, Michael. Yeah, y'all send your good vibes to Ralph, man. He had a spill down a rocky crag mountain up there in Hawaii, and he busted up his entire leg, like broke the leg, broke the foot, broke his ankle. So hope he gets better sooner than later. Let's shift through some of the stuff that we got here over on YouTube. Let's like this guy. He's a lighthouse.
Rob.
Rob Rathbun, everybody, dropping $50 into the jar, the virtual jar. We appreciate it, but it's real money. It is real money. Thank you very much, Rob. I haven't seen a question from you, Rob. So, let's see here. He says the sticker is pretty lame. My apologies. We can't even see it, but everybody else that's on YouTube can see it. I'm sure it looks glorious. A lot of people talk about Destin Hill again here. We don't even think about this. This is a kind of a good point, I think, from Tessier Ashpool. When's the last time you even played a down of football? Yeah, there's, like you said, I guess, right? You can't go through 2 full cycles. It's not even so much the waiting game. It's like, hey, man, you haven't even played ball.
I've heard he's done everything to keep himself. He's been active as far as workouts and stuff he does. So but still, you haven't had any game action in probably 2 years. So since it's probably his high school senior year. So there's probably going to be rust, but I think summer is kind of my deadline with this whole thing. I've said before, for those that missed it, the expectation is that he will get there in the summer. If I get a date on that later, I will certainly pass it along, guys. And I'm just as skeptical as anybody else until I see him. But I have to report what I have, and that's what I've been told. So, and that's been a consistent message from the FSU side of things, is that summer is when expectation is.
All right. William McMillan, Michael, did we get preferred walk-on Reese Larson?
I don't know. That's not one I saw per se. Maybe Aslan can do some research on that, pull up his Twitter account, but I have not heard on him.
Palm Beach County in the house. He tweeted out a little bit ago, a few days back, had a great time. Looks like he might have gotten the PWO offer, but hasn't. There's no commitment on his timeline, no commitment or anything. So
we're waiting. Yeah, these PWOs, they're not all on signing day, so sometimes they take a little longer to decide. So looks like he hasn't decided yet. So we all wait to see what Mr. Reese Larson's going to do.
Like I don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot and tell people. I mean, come on, everybody! Like there are layers, there are tiers of difference makers that Florida State needs to get better. I mean, no offense to these guys, but listen, man, we all have a station in life. I'm in my house right now broadcasting. I'm not on ESPN for a reason. Preferred walk-ons or preferred walk. I get you're curious. I don't want to say don't be curious, because your curiosity fuels us, but not that you're being mean about it, William Mack. Love you, man. But there's a lot of PWO talk. Let's worry about getting a quarterback, I think. That's what's like a real quarterback, like a true functioning quarterback. I'll stop talking. I'll turn it over to you people. Let's take another phone call. The phone calls. Let's go down to Tampa. I should have put a note in here to see who it is, but I don't know who it is. So could you identify yourself, caller, and let us know where you're calling from?
Well, it's Dave in Bardstown, but right now I'm at DC County Emergency Room, and I am getting the support of my nursing staff and EMS, and they're going to be fellow Noles with me today.
There you go.
It's a slow night, so although I'm not. Can I ask 2 questions, Aslan?
Absolutely, David. So are you in the ER? Are you in the OR? Are you in the operating room right now?
No, just the emergency room, just the ER.
Okay, just the ER.
Close enough. What's up, Dave?
Well, I'm about a little over an hour south of Lexington, Kentucky right now, and we have one patient that EMS is about to transfer out, and then another one getting some fluid, so we're good.
Should we use an alias when you're calling us on the job in the ER? I mean, should we call something else?
Yeah, Dave.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Nobody will catch on to that.
All right.
All right. So first question is, Michael, when you go to Hawaii on vacation, can we get your cell phone number in case any questions about Destin Hill come up that we need you emergently?
That's good, Dave. No, I've heard that before. Yeah, I get that a lot. But yeah, when we go to Hawaii, my wife is going to make sure my phone's off. So it wouldn't matter what my phone is. So she makes sure when we go on vacation that it's lights out when it comes to that stuff. So that's kind of my easy answer to that.
I'm sure there's going to be some people on the PRB that are just getting really antsy, not being able to ask the question for a whole week.
I'm sure there will be. That's why I got Austin. Austin's going to be able to handle all that stuff, but I'll probably still sneak it on, to be honest. Hopefully my wife's not watching this tonight, but
don't.
I'll
Come
probably
on,
sneak it
man.
on.
Just take a break for a week and take Ira with you, man.
All right. Second question. When Aslan asks you if there's anything else people can do to show support, do you ever just feel tempted to say, I'm not going to tell him to hit the like button? I've already said it too many times. I just can't.
I try, it's funny you mentioned that, Dave, because I try to say something a little bit different every time, but I do want them to hit the like button, but it's like, oh man, I got to say this again. But I try to change it up a little bit. It's not that I don't want them to hit it. I think it's important, but I think it's I try to almost push myself to say something a little bit different each time. So I try to keep it with objectivity and try to change it up. But I do my best. I do what I can. But it is an important thing. We don't just do it just to say it. It is an important thing to promote anything, because anything to do with this site. So it's a big deal. But I do catch myself trying not to say the same thing over and over.
All right. Well, you know what? Third question, if I'm allowed.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do any recruit basketball?
Yeah, I do sometimes. Yeah, I do some basketball stuff, but the problem with that is, with Leonard stuff, it's so secretive sometimes that I can't really do a hot board for basketball because it's really tough to track exactly what you're doing. And there's so many people when it comes to national small markets with hoops pages and stuff, that by the time I do all that stuff, the kid might be already committed by then. But I'm going to try to do more basketball stuff just to drop nuggets on the board. At the very least, I can say, hey, here's what's going on. That kind of, I can't do a hot board because it's impossible to do it, but I can drop a few more nuggets. So yeah, that's something that I planned on doing. Obviously, when I get back from vacation, that's kind of one of my New Year's resolutions. That I want to do a little more basketball where I drop a few more nuggets in there.
All right. Well, I want to let the staff here at Casey County Emergency Room say goodbye to Aslan and Michael.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave.
Frontline workers. They're part of the tribe as well, everybody. Thank you to Dave and Bardstown, Kentucky for calling in from the ER. Literally, he's a doctor.
That's awesome. We've never had that kind of call before, so that's great.
It is incredible. All right. Shout out, by the way, to
yes.
Aunt Deb out there in Jacksonville, telling everybody to join the Jacksonville Noles Club at Fishweir Brewing on Monday, February 21st at 5 p.m. Sounds like a happy hour. Warchant recruiting tour means Michael Langston's going to be in the house. He's going to share some nuggets about the recruits. So they're one of the strongest Nole clubs, alumni clubs that we have here in the country, and Deb's the best. So I can only imagine it's going to be perfect. And Michael's going to be there too. You stoked, Michael?
I'm excited. Deborah's awesome. I had a great time last year doing it. Deborah's one of our family, a good friend of our family. So I can't wait to get over there. I don't know if I'll be with somebody else. she asked me to bring you, Aslan, because you're her buddy. So she
Yeah,
wanted you to come.
awesome.
I'm trying to get Ira to come with me, but if Ira doesn't, I'll cover some team stuff too. Either way, so I'll cover a lot of different things. So I'm excited. Obviously, it's during my vacation, but that's okay. I don't mind doing these things on vacation because it's for you guys. I want to give back to you guys what I have, and I always enjoy being around people in person. I prefer that. You know, person contact's always one of my favorite things, just to be around different people. So I'm excited about Jacksonville. We got Panama City coming up too. We're waiting to set a date on that, and maybe a few other places. But I can't wait. I'm excited about it.
Look at that. Awesome, man. Let's go to some more of the questions here. Carol's going to be on the on deck circle. We'll go to Tessier Ashpool. Question for Mike. Is there any optimism with this coaching staff to bring in a top 10 class? Which actually kind of ties into Carol asking with the transfer portal players added in, does a 20th ranking spot go up from us? Yeah, Michael, I mean, that's the thing, right? We're sitting at 20th, but that doesn't factor in Jared Verse. It doesn't factor in Micah Pittman. It doesn't factor in Trey Benson, et cetera, et cetera.
Right, these guys aren't ranked. I mean, let's be honest. Let's go through a few of them. I'm not going to go through all of them, but a guy like Winston Wright, I look at that as like a Rivals 100 player. I mean, that's Winston Wright. That's what he is. Jared Verse, everyone in the country wants him. You got to have him as a high 4-star. So those alone, yes, it's going to boost up your ranking. I think it would probably go from 20 to probably 13, or 14. Could go all the way up that high, even higher than that, maybe close to 10 or 11. So yeah, it does impact things, but obviously they don't put in that stuff for they don't rank these players of what they are. But I think if they did, that's kind of the way I'd look at it and view it. But yeah, to answer the first question, yes, I definitely believe there's optimism to get top 10 class. I think they're on a range of hitting that. This year at one point it was 12. I think, and that's with a 5-7 season. I think it's really just taking your program to another level of winning. And when you win, it gets much easier to recruit. I think there's a lot of top players in this, certainly in this 2022 class. Azare Thomas, top 100 type of player. AJ Duffy, I think, phenomenal quarterback, and then Sam McCall. Those are 3 elite players. I mean, those are 3 elite. That's just 3 of them. So I think it's a great class overall. I think it's probably higher than what the 20. I would probably have them around 16 or 15 personally. But I think it's a great class. Julian Armella, as Aslan just put on the screen, top 100 type of players.
When did he lose his 5th star?
Oh, he committed to FSU, so you didn't know? That's kind of what goes on. No,
Unbelievable.
I'm kidding.
So we're back in that. We still haven't signed a 5-star kid in the Rivals.com era on the offensive line. Amazing. Touche, Rivals. Touche.
They're like, hey, we'll help you. No, but seriously, I think it's a great class. I really like this class. When you look at the skill and talent across the board on this class, that's kind of what I focus on. I don't get caught up in these, where exactly the class is. I look at more of the skills that you're bringing in, of the guys that you're bringing in. And I think there's a lot of guys in here that are rated 3 stars in there that I think are 4-star talent, like Omar Graham. I think that's a 4-star talent. I think guys like Kanaya Charlton, I think that's a 4-star talent. So I think there's a lot of guys in here that you can't base everything on just the stars next to the name. You got to look at the skills and what they do. And there's a lot of good ones in here. And I think it's a great class, which I think's bridging to the next year for the top 10 class. I'll make a prediction, guys. I think they're going to get a top 10 class next year. That's my prediction. I think it will be a top 10 class next year. So that's where I think they're going. I think they found what they are as far as identity of what their team is. Now it's about showing on the field consistently, getting it and putting it on paper. What you see on paper and on the field, I think they're going to show that, and I think you're going to see a top 10 class next year. That's my opinion.
Bold from our guy Langston. We like it that way. We also got to probably take into account as well is that this is a very offensive line heavy class.
Yes.
And that is the one position, like, no offense to these guys that do the rankings, man. I don't want to have to do it, but it is just, it's a perpetually, annually, perennially sort of miss the mark on. I mean, it's such a tough thing to properly rate offensive line recruits. So to, Michael's point, whether it's a Daughtry Richardson or a Kanaya Charlton's got a 3-star, man, if that kid ends up starting 32 games for you, I mean, that's well more than what a 3-star you probably would expect. So we'll see how those guys kind of their careers turn out as they get in here. So Danny says star coaches bring in star players.
Yep.
Touché.
And the thing is, and I told people this, one guy was like this, well, one guy put a post on the board the other day. I'm not going to say who it is, but just his thing was, oh, we should have signed more to help our class ranking. If you're worried about a class ranking instead of class talent, like it should be about the class talent. So I think that's the talent and skill is more important than the star that I see next to their name. I mean, there's a lot of kids that have been 4-stars, and I'm kind of like, yeah, you know what? I'm not as high on that guy. But there's other guys that are lower that I think, I'm really high on their skill. So I think sometimes we get carried away of how high the star ranking, like that makes it a guarantee that they're going to be good. This doesn't guarantee anything. Nothing's guaranteed until they get on the field and they show what they do. But that's kind of my feeling on that. Ed, I'm down with it, man. By the way, Ed, Diane says she would like some more DeLuna hot chocolate. So you tell me what I got to do, and I'll make it happen.
There we go. Ed says come out to the Pensacola booster meeting. He will.
I'm down with it.
Eric's a Cincinnati guy. Who do you like in the Super Bowl next week, Michael?
I really didn't think there was any way that the Chiefs were going to lose. So I just feel like Burrow is on a mission. I want my boys from the Rams. So I want Cam and I want Jalen to get that ring, because if anybody deserves a ring, it's Cam. I just don't trust the Rams. You guys are too fickle. You do too many stupid things. I just really think that the Bengals on track. They just feel like a team of destiny to win this thing. I think Joe's on a mission. I think Bengals are going to win it.
I love Joe Burrow, man. I gotta what an awesome guy to be able to probably root for. So, against all odds, 15. What's the point of having a recruiting show and nothing changed since the early signing period? Hey, man, I don't know, bro. I don't know, but we're here.
It's mainly
2023 class is starting up, though. I mean, that's stuff to talk about, right, Mike?
Yeah, we've had 3 weeks of visits. We're certainly we can address some of that, and then 2, it's just covering all the stuff of. I never really gave my impressions of. We did this thing so fast in the early signing period. I really didn't get into detail about what I love so much about this class and stuff like that. So that's kind of why we decided to do this, which was to kind of really dig into this class and see what really jumped out to me and what jumps out to you guys and what questions you have. So this is more of a chance for you guys to talk to me and kind of give me your feelings, and I can kind of give a rebuttal and share my views of what I think of this class in each specific area.
What do you think about the start they're off to right now in 2023? There's going to be a certain point here, Michael, where they're not going to be so heavily dependent on the portal. I mean, if they are, then something's going wrong, man. If they're still signing max 10, 14 guys out of the portal, man, this thing is just not on the right track, because you do have to develop these kids.
Right.
It's what Georgia, it's what all the premier programs are doing. I mean, to have 4 guys right now, I don't know, is Randy Pittman related to Julian Pittman? I know Lamont Green's a legacy. They got 4 guys. I feel like Jimbo always would get these really early. He'd get the ball rolling early on. I mean, you got a quarterback, so that's important. You got a wide receiver that by all indications is doing really well in the offseason 7-on-7 circuit. Then you got a tight end that's pretty highly thought of in Randy Pittman, and Lamont Green's a legacy. So, I mean, are they off to a good start now? And what have the visits been like? I know we hear good things. Is this going to be one of those things where a lot of them are going to be in wait and see mode, do you think, the recruits, or was enough done last year and more portal guys are added that it's going to give enough confidence to some of these kids to maybe commit, once spring football rolls around, they make visits for the Garnet and Gold game and things like that?
Well, first of all, leave that screen up for a second, because I want people to see what Chris Parsons' ranking is. He is vastly underrated. Like, there's no way Chris Parsons is a 3-star. Like, no way. Sorry, rivals. I'm sorry, guys. I try to be polite, but there's no way this kid's a 3-star. Like, no way. First of all, I love this class. I mean, I think they're off to a great start. I don't think it's the same as last year, Aslan, where you have to prove yourself. I think a lot of these kids believe in the vision of where FSU is going. I think there's going to be a massive amount of 5-stars and 4-stars that are going to visit in March. A lot of them. guys like 5-star Richard Young, 5-star Brandon Ennis. There's going to be a lot more 5-stars than people are used to that are going to be visiting. I think they're sold on where FSU's going, whereas last year it was kind of like, show me something, show me what you can do in a big game. I think they saw enough the way these guys fight that it really jumped out to a lot of recruits. So I think recruits know where they're going. I think it's now just continue that pace to go upward. I kind of take another step up, but I don't think it's kind of like it was last year where they had to prove themselves of what I guess where they need to go as far as to get the 5 and 4 stars. I think they're going to get 5 stars and 4 stars. I think, and like I said, the month of March is going to be massive. They're holding they're calling it Elite Junior Day at FSU on March 5th. It's going to be massive. There's going to be several 5 stars, several top 100 type of players. It's going to be a big weekend. Then obviously the spring game, that's always well attended for top high school recruits. But I don't think it's the same as it was last year, what they're selling or what they have to pitch. Now FSU's big on relationships. That's kind of going to be always what the staff is connected with. But I think now the product is starting to catch up to the relationship. So now it's about just taking the next step to what you see on the field.
No. How about this from Chris Thompson, former Washington commander.
My man.
Actually, I don't know. It's probably just random Chris Thompson, and not the Chris Thompson tight end coach. Coaching question tied to recruiting, Michael. Any insight on why Mike Norvell kept Ron Dugans? We've missed on recruits and production has been lacking. Do you think transfer wide receivers bought him some time?
Yeah, I don't really have an answer for you on that one, Chris. I thought I would not go against if they this. I mean, I personally was for. Look, when you're not delivering the product and you're not developing, you didn't see much out of the receivers, and you signed 0 high school kids. It's kind of hard to justify you getting an extension, but Norvell's inside his program. He obviously saw something with Dugans that he liked, and to Dugans' credit, they did pick up a big commitment for 2024 with the Fryer kid, Camden Fryer, 2024. He's a really good talent, but you still have to sign these guys, and you still have to develop them. And I think it's a prove it and show it now. But there's something obviously that Mike saw, whether it was the development or what they're doing in recruiting with kids that they liked with Ron. Otherwise, he wouldn't be there. There's no way they're just going to sign an extension. We've saw that with several coaches he's had. He's done that where he's encouraged them to look around. So there's obviously something that connected Mike. I can't really put my finger on it, but personally, me, I would have looked around and gone a different direction. But like I said, Mike, and this is nothing against Ron. I love Ron. Ron is awesome. He works hard. He grinds. He knows football. This is a guy that doesn't know what he's talking about. He knows coaching. He's very good as far as coaching. But it doesn't matter sometimes how good your coaching is. The coaching has to connect with the development, and the coaching has to connect with your recruiting. So, Ron's going to have a chance to prove himself. And like I said, obviously, Mike saw something that really stood out, and that's what we have to stand by.
Well, I mean, let's be honest too, though, everybody. This kind of comes full circle to a certain degree, but the criticism of Florida State not spending money or that sort of perception. Listen, man, they went after Bob Stoops, man. They went after several other targets to hire a head football coach after they got rid of Willie Taggart. They ended up going with Mike Norvell. But man, they shot for the moon on that thing, and they got Mike Norvell, and we'll see how that's all going to work out. Man, Norvell, there was reports out there. He went after Jawan Sider. You all love Jawan Sider. Every year there is a Jawan Sider thread. Are we going to hire him, Michael? Player personnel, maybe running backs coach, Jawan Sider, great recruiter. Man, there are credible reports. They made a run at him. He ended up staying in Penn State. So I'm not trying to be like, let's just always give him benefit of the doubt. But like he did what we wanted. He went and looked for somebody better, and he couldn't get the guy. So now, if you want to believe that there's nobody else out there that Mike Norvell knows that's better than Ron Dugans, I can kind of understand your apprehension there, but give him credit for trying to make his roster, his coaching staff better. It just didn't work out.
He didn't sit there and just say, "Oh, screw you guys. I'm going to stick with what I have." He went out there. It sounds like, went out there and put the attention and saw what he could do and saw what the interest was, and They went for it, but at the same time, even with all that, there has to be something that connects him that Mike likes, that kept him as far as giving extension. So that's kind of where we're at.
T. Broyles, sharply dressed T. Broyles, Jordan McCaslin, PWO or signed.
Well, I've never heard that name, so I'm going to assume that's a PWO. I'm going to grab a drink of water real quick, guys. So
all right, Michael, step away. I'll tap dance. Go ahead. You're fine, Michael. I'll meet you there so you can step away. Get a glorious look of my room, everybody. Look at all this great merch and stuff I got around here. Phone line is open, 850-805-5911. Asking a question of Michael Langston when it comes to recruiting here. We'll take this question once Michael gets settled back in. I'm cool with it being on a Friday night, but when we think about it through the prism of a recruiting angle, this is probably a valid question because, man, that's either what, state championship Friday or that's like state semifinal Friday. So, Michael, will the Florida game being on a Friday this year affect high school recruits visiting for the Sunshine State Showdown?
I mean, it hurts because some of the top players are going to be playing in games. So I've kind of mixed results. I kind of like it because it's different, but then at the same time, I don't like it because I love going to high school games, and obviously that's not going to be the case if you have that game on Friday. So I think it's mixed results, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to affect top recruits from getting there. Like, we're still talking about one game. You're not talking about a ton of like 50 recruits playing on Friday night, but it is going to impact a few guys.
Richard Hackman. So if Michael's predicting a top 10 class this coming year, 2023, are we going to lighten up in the transfer portal, or are we just going to get better recruits to fit our needs, or maybe more highly rated guys? Probably.
Well, I think it'll lighten it up because when you get this is what I liked what they did this year. They added guys that are multiple year guys. So at those positions, I don't think they're going to be just racking up those guys. So I think it will lighten up. And that's kind of what FSU wanted to do. They wanted to get multiple year guys. If you look at every position, nearly all of them, if not, maybe the center from Wisconsin was like the only one I saw. The rest of them are multiple year guys. So I think definitely with them getting multiple year guys, a lot of these guys have 3 years. So I think a lot of it's going to lighten up as far as what we see in the transfer. I don't think it's going to be to the 9 to 10 range. I think it's going to be more around maybe 4 or 5 in the future. I think it will lighten up, but that's why I kind of like what they did as far as just the total numbers, as far as just getting guys that play multiple years. And I think with that's definitely going to lighten up, I think, for the future in the portal. I don't think you're going to see FSU every year go 9, 10. I think they did it out of necessity because of what they need right now.
I mean, we're making graphics for PWOs. Look at that, man.
Yep.
I would think if they tweet at Chuck Cantor, they're probably a walk-on, I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's probably the tell everybody.
Yeah, that's a PWO right there. That's a PWO.
So we're getting you answers, everybody. So what was it, against all odds? Like, why are we doing a show? That's why we're doing a show, man. Give the people what they want. The people want to recruiting each other. There's 313 people watching this. There's only, 23. Hit the like button. No, hit the like button, everybody. Come on. Step it up. Let's see. What do you think about the portal, Michael? When you develop a quarterback for 2 years and he bolts in Nebraska, it shows you can't build like you used to. The game has changed. It won't ever be the same. I heard Tom Luganbill on ESPN today was talking about he liked I liked his idea about like creating 2 windows to transfer. Like right now, you can do it whenever, man. You can literally be at halftime. You can go on your phone, like, I'm gone. Like I'm transferring out of here, like Chubba did in the middle of the season. Luganbill was saying there should be like 2 windows. Do one after championship Saturday, after your conference title games. Make it, 2-3 weeks, and then do one after kind of spring football wraps up for everybody else. So you don't, because listen, I don't want you to be selfish here, Michael, but like literally you have to, at all times, there could be a transfer portal prospect that's either the interest is going to come up or he's going to show up out of nowhere and visit campus. I can't imagine even a coaching staff likes that. All free agency has guardrails, NFL, NHL, baseball, NBA. There's windows, there's tampering. You can't, but there's no rules with this. It's like, yeah, just tell the guy in compliance you want to be gone, put your name in the portal. Good luck to you at any time. I mean, do you like the idea of maybe limiting it to certain parts of the calendar, or do you think it should remain wide open in Wild Wild West?
Well, I definitely don't think it should be wide open because I've said from the start, that's been my complaint from the beginning, that there's no structure to this, what this crap is. I mean, it's just go, everyone leave. I mean, we've seen kids that they're transferring from a school and they're actually at another football game at a school that they might consider. I mean, that's crazy. So yeah, I agree with Tom that there should be a certain time date for when you can do it before and when you can do it after. There should be time frames to, you gotta structure this stuff. I mean, come on, NCAA, this is not that hard, guys. I mean, really structure this thing where you're not just killing the programs of losing a guy, that they need to be focused on the game. They shouldn't have to worry about if Chuba Purdy is going to Nebraska. I mean, they should be able to worry about who they have on their team, and then at the certain time they can leave. But yeah, I definitely think there should be a lot more structure than what there is.
Let's go to our guy, XDQ004, also known as Derek. Speaking of the portal, Kamar Wheaton, any chance with him, running back, hit the transfer portal today, apparently?
I have not heard anything with Samar. I think originally I've heard, there was Michigan, something with him, but I don't know if he's related to the other guy who played at Michigan. But I think I have not heard anything with FSU there. He didn't get a lot of playing time. Obviously, that's not everything, as we've seen with FSU having some guys that didn't have a lot of playing time. But I have not heard anything with Samar and FSU. I know every time a 5-star pops up or a Rivals 100 guy pops up, that's the first thing people want to check on is, hey, they got a shot. But I have not heard anything with Samar and FSU.
That'd be nice, though. I don't know anything about him, but he looks pretty tough. Let's see your stats. I don't even think he recorded any stats.
No, he didn't even play.
So let's see here. I'm just double checking on PFF. Yeah, no, not there, but we'll keep an eye on it for you, though, Derek. We'll keep an eye.
Yeah, I'll ask around like I always do anytime somebody drops in there. I have not heard anything from FSU context on him yet, so I will definitely ask around again.
Redavius, I don't think this is true. He says that Dante Anderson's a high 4-star. He hasn't even been added to our ranking score because he walked on as a 4-star. I mean, they got him, man. He's on the list here.
He's on the raw. Here's the thing with Dante. Like, they were limited to scholarships, so technically you can list him technically as a PWO, but he won't be a PWO. He's going to be a scholarship player. No, people can twist it around and say, oh, he's going to be he will be, the way I was explained to me, he will eventually be a scholarship player. It's kind of similar to the McClellan kid, the Jarkos McClellan kid that came from Arkansas. I think it's going to be similar to that, where they couldn't put him on scholarship that time because of the numbers. But then once the season or whatever recycles to the next 2023, then I think he'll be on scholarship. That's the way it was explained to me.
Well, how can you be a 4-star and you're one of the 50 best players in the state and you're a walk-on, and you were committed to Miami? Like that whole thing, I mean, that's the luck to him. That was a very weird whole sort of situation that happened there. And yeah, I mean, again, hey, everybody, maybe don't pay attention to stars. I mean,
that's why I try to tell people, focus more on the skill. But that's kind of the way I see that working out. Look at James B throwing it down.
James B's here, man. Let's go.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Right there on the pillar, everybody. His name is right there. He's a real person. We met him. James B. Good evening, gentlemen. Michael, thank you. First off, James, $75. We're very appreciative of your kind tip to us, man. We appreciate it. We're just having fun, shooting the breeze, talking about the Noles. Michael, have you heard anything from your FSU sources about lessons that might have been learned from the Travis Hunter recruitment?
Don't trust the kid. I don't know. There's not much lessons you can really learn from being screwed over. And not somebody wasn't honest with you. I guess it's about how much you try. I don't think you really change anything you've done. I think it's just one of those situations where a kid wanted to do something unique and historic, and obviously he wasn't honest with the coaches about what he was doing. But at the same time, that's his decision, what he had to do. I don't think there's any lesson you can do except for make sure you have backup plans to whatever you're doing with every guy. And I think pretty much FSU's had that. When you look at it, they lost Travis, but they gained his RA. So I think they prepare for these things to happen, but I don't think there's any like extreme lesson to learn from doing that. It was just a shocking development and historic development that I guess nobody saw coming from anywhere. So it's kind of hard to learn a lesson from something that's just came out of the blue.
How about, thank you, James. Michael Simon asks, who is the most underrated player in this class that you think has the best upside?
The two guys I would say for me, and they're both on defense, is Omar Graham and Daniel Lyons for me. I love both of those guys. They're both from South Florida, which is not surprising. I think Omar is just a different type of line. I think this guy's going to play really early at FSU. I think he's a guy that flies around the ball. He does everything. I mean, physicality, fast, closes on receivers really well as far as his coverage skills. And he's a guy I'm very high on. And then I think with Daniel Lyons, he's one of the most athletic defensive tackles I've watched on film. I think this guy's going to play a lot. I think he's an Odell type of kid that fits perfectly what they want to do athletically, scheme wise. I think he does a lot of the same things that we see with Fabian Lovett. I think he's very athletic, and I think he's going to be a great add to this team. So those are the two guys that really I could pick a few more, but those two really just jump out to me.
There we go. Thanks for the question, Michael. We appreciate it. Thank you for the answer as well, Michael. How about Helicopter Kicks? What's up, man? Shout out to Helicopter Kicks.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Much love. I'm back. Here's to FSU's hopeful 7+ wins. I mean, yeah. I mean, at least. Come on, man.
At least
eight's got to be it. Eight's got, yeah, man. Come on.
Eight's where I'm circling.
7 wins with this schedule. 7 wins with this schedule is 2021 all over again with a couple bounces that go your way.
Eight or nine is my prediction. Yeah. That's what I expect.
Gotcha. Anyhow, to both the Utes, favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger film. I'm a big Total Recall guy. Kindergarten Cop or Terminator 2, I guess, just to not use Total Recall.
My favorite is True Lies.
Okay.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. You like the one where he's killing Middle Eastern people, I see.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Cool, man. All right, let's get a couple more questions. Thank you, Helicopter Kicks. Yeah. See you at the party, Richter. Total Recall. Good one. Get down or lay down. Can FSU host players from a visiting team on official visits next year the day before the game? Oh, like state championship? But the state championship's not going to be. I think that's what he's asking. I mean, there won't be a game here for high school.
Can FSU host players from a visiting team on official visits? Yeah, I don't think that's allowed.
All right. There we go. True Lies is a close second, Helicopter Kick says, for him.
Diane says it's number 1, so Diane loves it.
Both Commando Running Man, yeah.
Commando is really good.
Yeah. Remember when I said I'd kill you last, Sully? I lied. So many good one-liners in Commando. Predator, man. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Let's see if we got another question that we can get on the way out here. People want to know about that running back. Thankfully, you already nipped it in the bud.
Yeah.
Let's go to Tessier. He's back. The one player in the 2023 class that's an absolute must get.
Whew. Let's see. It's tough.
Parson? Maybe.
I mean, they already got Parson, so I think he's talking about somebody that isn't committed.
I got you.
Give me a second, guy. I'm going to do some on-site research here.
I would try to, in days and age, I would just pull up the Rivals 100 for 2023, but it's not popping up right now. So that's great. Thanks, guys. Why?
Why is that? Why is that happening?
I don't know, because we need to actually use it right now.
I mean, for me, I would say Cedric Baxter out of Orlando. I think he's an elite player. This is a kid that grew up liking FSU. Running back position, we obviously know FSU can sell that in spades with that way FSU runs the ball. That's a big one to me. Jalen Brown's another one out of South Florida that FSU is extremely high on, that they're recruiting really hard. We're focusing on offensive tackles. I would say, let's see.
Look, I just found out today my guy TJ Shanahan moved to Texas.
Really?
I didn't realize that. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Is it Austin Westlake? Yeah. What about? Didn't you guys go hang out with Cormani McLean, or did you guys did a little dabbling with him, right? When you guys spoke on a call and
they kind of slipped a little bit with him. He hasn't mentioned FSU as much. I think the other guy I'm really high on. I know he's ranked a 3-star right now, but he will not be a 3-star there long. I can almost guarantee it. Is the Roderick Kearney kid. I am very high on him. I think he's a stud. And then another one I really like is Gabe Harris out of now he goes to Thomasville. I think that's a guy FSU's high on. That's a guy that used to be committed to FSU. I think that's a guy to watch. Roderick Kearney, that kid will be a Rivals 100 type of player. I mean, that's how good that kid is. So I those are a few that I think are must gets for me when I look at it.
I remember Gabe Harris, man. He committed to Florida State. Like, look at that, 2021, man. Like last year, he committed a long while ago, man.
Yeah, and I just think that kid is exactly what you want as a pass rusher. He fits everything you want. So, top 50 kid, certainly not too far from home. I think you can win him. I think you get that kid. That will really be a big must get for FSU.
Rick's a funny guy. I like Rick. A new transfer from UGA will be in Noles in a few days. Is he predicting the future?
Okay.
I don't know.
A new transfer from Georgia? Did he just call you ass?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not supposed to read it. I didn't read it out loud. You're not supposed to read it.
Okay. But
Rick.
Okay. Rick, I'll look into that. I have not heard that as far as a transfer in the Noles in a few days. That's news to me, but I'll look into that.
Joey Paca, if Travis Hunter hits a transfer portal in a year or two, would FSU welcome him with open arms?
No.
What?
They wouldn't.
Take it back, Michael.
No.
Take it back.
They wouldn't touch that. They do not do too well with guys that turn them down. We saw that with Brandon Jennings this year in the portal. They've done that with several kids that really turned them down, where you had a chance to join this and you don't want to be a part of. So if you're not committed to this, how can I trust that you'll be committed to it the next time around?
Yeah. Any surprises coming up soon?
No, I think it's just mainly that March visit weekend. That's when things will start really cranking up. Obviously, nothing's going to be happening in February, mostly just getting these visits set up for March. But right now, I don't think there's any silent commits or big surprise. I think we won't really know a lot until that big March visit weekend on March 5th. That's going to be a big weekend for FSU in 2023.
Jane Newsom, any legacy players to watch for?
Well, they got to commit last week, but don't have to watch for that anymore. But none that I can think of off the top of my head right now for 2023.
I heard Leon Washington has a kid out there that's getting offers, man.
Yeah, running back. Leon Washington Jr. got an offer from Mississippi State. So, yeah.
Shout out to Dave. I guess he's out of surgery. He's always got jokes. Any momentum left over from the recruitment weekend hosted by Travis Hunter and Nico Marcio?
Probably not.
Too soon, Dave. Too soon.
Dave loves the jokes. You should do stand-up, Dave.
Matthew, don't ever be afraid to ask a question. But go rewind like 30 minutes ago. If he's not here in the summer.
Yeah.
Perfectly
said.
Yeah. All right, there we go. We made it, and we did it. Oh, by the way, Radavia says, "Hey, Rick, can we get a position hint?" So that you got a captive audience now, Rick. Maybe do like a selfie video in your car, with your hat on and a tank top on. You can look cool.
But to also cover this class, I think it doesn't get said enough. The job they did with this offensive line for 2022. I think that's the biggest takeaway. Incredible, probably the best haul I can remember them getting in a really long time. Probably all the way to that Jimbo class that won the national championship. This is probably the best that I've seen since then. I love the skill guys. I love what they added with Sam McCall and Azari Thomas. Both of those guys can eventually play offense. I think you're going to see both of those guys on special teams. So I really like this class. I think the skill fits exactly the needs of what they need at certain positions like linebacker and certainly receiver with the guys they brought in from the portal. So I think it's a strong class.
Florida State currently down 4 on the road at Little John and Clemson. So we'll turn our attention to the basketball game here. The Oz of Wizards, Jaden Davis, 2024. My gosh, man. How do you guys all have wives and girlfriends and I don't? And you're talking about guys that are freshmen and sophomores in high school. Yeah. What's going on, Jaden Davis?
Yeah, he visited last weekend. We did a detailed story on him. I get the impression going that visit. I think South Carolina, Auburn were the teams I heard the most, but after this visit, I think FSU is the team that everyone's chasing. I think FSU did a really good job with him. Really, strong visit. Connected with Tokarts, the new quarterback coach, and I think they position themselves the best, at least right now, with Jaden. But that's a long ways to go. 2024.
Any word on a legit backup quarterback? Ouch. Should put some respect on Tate Rodemaker's name. Put some respect on that name. Any word on a legit backup quarterback waiting until spring, do you think? I mean, we've talked about this a little bit before, I think off camera too, Michael. You're not under the impression they're going to get somebody in here that's like a bona fide threat to Jordan Travis. Like they ideally for them, they just bring in a guy that probably is a good soldier and can hold the clipboard and is an insurance policy. I guess
that's not how I feel about it. I feel like my take has always been they want somebody that's a veteran with experience that's going to compete with Jordan, that's going to compete with AJ. Doesn't have to. But they don't want a superstar type guy that's going to conflict with their chemistry of what they have within their team. We saw that last year. They tried that with Mackenzie Milton, and it failed. They lost the first 4 games. They were 0-4. But they want somebody that's talented and experienced that's going to compete with the guys they have.
That's crazy, man. So they have not made any changes on their coach. There's no new voices in that meeting room on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball.
All I know is that
a quarterback that's going to maybe rattle Jordan. I mean, listen, this is the thing. Like, you can go get Caleb Williams and be like, hey, man, you will start. Like, nobody's going to be mad other than Jordan Travis and his family if you went and got Caleb Williams. Now, the problem here is you can't get somebody that's kind of like, all right, like you can't get Jackson Dart because Jackson Dart isn't good enough to automatically be like, yeah, you're going to start over Jordan Travis. And he's going to be like, well, you guys like this guy a lot. I don't want to come and really compete. I'd rather compete against Luke Altmaier if I'm Jackson Dart than Jordan Travis because they really like Jordan Travis here. So, like, but they've created the situation for themselves. They better hope that Jordan Travis gets really better. Awesome.
Well, the thing is, they feel Jordan's their guy, and
clearly
somebody has to go out there and beat him. And I don't think they want to mess up what they have within their team. But I hear you. I'm with you, Aslan. If there was a better guy, if Caleb Williams called up and said, hey, I want to come to FSU, absolutely, I would take him. But I'm not in charge. I'm just telling you kind of their viewpoint of the way they look at it.
Yeah. All right. Last one. Mean it this time. Will they be doing a midnight recruiting event again this summer?
Probably will. Obviously, they haven't told me any date. That's usually a month within when they do it. So I would imagine they're going to do it, Chris. They're very innovative in how they do these recruiting things. They like to do stuff new that nobody else is doing. So I would imagine they're probably going to do another one of those.
Yeah. As you all remember, they were opening the doors at Moore Center and welcoming in kids at midnight because they hadn't been able to see kids in real life
Mhm.
because of COVID and all that sort of stuff. So hopefully they'll keep that rolling. That was a pretty cool thing. That was good little publicity for them. So anyways, what's going on over the PRB in the next couple of days, Michael? I don't know. I don't want to assume, but what's going to go on this weekend? More dudes going to visit?
No, we're in the dead period, as I said. Whole month of February is dead period.
Thank
I
God.
will be heading on vacation, so I'm out of here, guys. I'm leaving it to Ira and Corey and Gene. So I will be
Austin.
gone for probably a month or so,
What?
or less than that.
I got to get your agent. A month?
But because there's nothing really going on with recruiting for but I will. I guess, as I said, during my vacation, I'm going to be doing these tours and booster tours. But obviously, if there's anything going on recruiting, we got the hot boards coming up. Get ready, because I already got the 2023 done. It's history. It's finished. Ira's going to post them. We already did the quarterbacks, and I think he did another position, running back. And then now we're going to do receivers, tight ends, offensive linemen. They're all coming. Defense is all done. It's done. I will be there to answer questions on it. So that's what's coming up on Warchant with the hot board. But besides that, I'm going to take a little break with the wife and enjoy things a little bit.
Thanks, all of our callers. Gator Kirk. Thanks to Ralph. Thanks to Wes. Dave in Bartstown. He called and he threw some doll hairs our way. We appreciate that, Ralph. I don't know if I said him already. Helicopter Kicks. James B. Top dollar this week out of the big dog in Pensacola. Shout out. And Rob Rathbun. Just Ricky Henderson personified. Just the leadoff dude. Taylor Walls. Just doubles every single time. We appreciate all the support, whether it's calling, whether it's posting questions, whether it's tipping us. And as Michael said, hot board's coming up over on warchant.com. Florida State right now facing Clemson. I don't have the score in front of me anymore. Y'all can go check it out. Stay connected to warchant.com. He's Michael. I'm Aslan. Thanks for watching. Have a great one, everybody.